Hi. I wanted to make this video kind of talking about my jaw surgery because today I got my braces off. So for those of you who don't know, I got jaw surgery on April 24th, 2014. And it was a purely elective choice to get the surgery. Originally it was to fix my gummy smile, which is why I went to an orthodontist again to see like what I could do to fix that. I thought it was going to be just, you know, lasering my gums a little bit, but they're like, no, you need jaw surgery and braces. And I was like, fantastic. Don't want to do that. But they're like, you know, it's actually kind of functional. Why don't you go see the surgeon, Dr. Tokyo, who is the surgeon who did my surgery. He's the best, which he is, and he'll, you know, kind of explain what the surgery would entail and the functional issues that would be actually solved by you getting the surgery. So we went to go see Dr. Tokyo, and he explained that, you know what, it wasn't a purely cosmetic reasoning behind me getting jaw surgery. My jaw had actually receded a little bit, which, you know, I didn't really notice up to that point. I was kind of like, oh, yeah, it is. I didn't know that. I don't know how I didn't know that, but I didn't. And apparently, according to Dr. Tokyo, the reasoning behind my jaw receding was because since I grew so tall so fast, my jaw got pushed back. And yeah, fantastic. Thank you, parents, for those tall genes. And so, you know, he's like, with your jaw receding, there's a possibility of and likelihood of your jaw receding further as you get older, because you know, your jaw and your face and your teeth do change as you get older, and if it receded further, that would cause issues, and it also possibly cause arthritis in my jaw, which did not sound like fun. So I was like, okay, let's consider this. So I did consider it, and ultimately it came down to, I knew if I didn't get it, I would regret it, which, you know, looking back now, I'm so glad I did, because I know I would regret it, and I'm so happy with the way my smile looks now, and I know it's going to get even better as time goes on, and, yeah, I'm very, you know, I know I would have regretted it if I didn't do it. So, you know, I decided to do it, and since I was about to go into grade 12 that year, both my orthodontist, who originally did my braces, my Dr. Tokyo, and my parents were all like, oh, well, let's get it done this year. And I said, no. I do not want braces for my senior year of high school. I do not want braces for prom pictures. I do not want braces for graduation photos. I, you know, rather do it after the first year of university, where I have 4 months to recover versus 2, and I'm not going to have to worry about, at the end of that second month, going off to university. So we decided to do it then. I got my wisdom teeth removed at the end of that summer of 2012, and pretty much everything was on hold until around June of 2013, where I went back for my consultation at the orthodontist. I took my molds, and we set up an appointment for, originally it was mid-September, to get my braces back on, but I said, you know what, it's going to be so many months beforehand, which I don't need with braces, because it's not like they're correcting my teeth are straight from the last time, so we'll just, yeah, but we move it a month back. So I got them on in October of 2013 after the Thanksgiving long weekend, and I've had them on for 10 months up to today, and I got my surgery, I want to say 6 months later, on April 24th. I don't know if it's 6 months later. I'm not going to do the math right now. No. I can, but I don't want to. And luckily, my exams finished a week before, literally exactly a week before, on April 17th. So I was able to get that April 24th spot versus having my surgery on May 22nd, which would have made my recovery, you know, I would only be at 3 months right now versus 4 months, and I wouldn't be getting my braces off today. I would be waiting another month, maybe possibly 2. Who knows, but when I would have been able to come back. So essentially what the jaw surgery did was they moved my bottom jaw forward a certain amount of millimeters. I'm not sure how many. I don't remember if my surgeon told me, but he didn't tell me before the surgery, and if he told me after the surgery, I don't remember those first couple days because I was on pain meds and I was, you know, just focusing on the fact that my lips looked like Kim Kardashian's ass and my face was like the size of a volleyball round-wise. And moved my top jaw up. So it was a double jaw surgery. I spent 2 nights in the hospital after. Usually they make you stay 1 night per jaw. And, you know, waking up from jaw surgery, probably, the recovery and aftermath of getting jaw surgery was probably the worst experience of my life. And, you know, being 19 years old and not having that many experiences, that's actually probably an accurate statement for right now. Who knows if worse things will happen. Hopefully this jaw surgery is the worst thing that ever happens to me. But it was hell. It was terrible. I wake up from the anesthesia. I'm groggy. My face is swollen. My nose has tubes in it. I had one going down in my stomach, one going down into my lungs. And, you know, of course, as soon as I wake up, I want the tubes out, so I'm, like, I can't talk because my mouth was elastic shut, so I'm signaling to, like, the nurse, like, take them out. I wanted pain medication. You know, when I first saw myself after the surgery, it was definitely, like, I can't even describe what thoughts went through my head because I looked so terrible. My face was bruised, my face was swollen. I had, you know, ice packs wrapped around my face. I just looked disgusting. You know, those first 2 nights in the hospital were terrible. The first night I was, you know, hungry, I was sore, I was in pain, I was tired. I was still kind of under the effects of anesthesia, you know, they were obviously wearing off, but, you know, still a little bit groggy from that. And I literally cried watching a commercial for A&W because I was so hungry because I hadn't eaten in 24 hours. And I wasn't going to be able to eat for another good solid 3 weeks to a month. After jaw surgery, literally all you can have is clear liquids for the first 3 days, I believe it was. And since you just had jaw surgery and, you know, it was all internal, so I had stitches all in my mouth, I'm not allowed to use a straw because that would cause dry sockets, so I was using a syringe. Not like, you know, the one you shoot up drugs with, because it doesn't, you know, it was like a rubber end to it, but I was literally, like, we'd have to, like, you know, slurp up the liquid, put it in my mouth, you know, squeeze it, and I had to, like, stick it through the side. It was just, it was the worst way to drink liquids, and I, you know, God, I do not miss using the syringe at all. That was probably one of the contributing factors of why the first week was just absolute hell in general. Luckily, when I got home, I could have other liquids besides clear liquid. I could have, you know, Coke if I was really tired. I had Sprite at the hospital. Obviously, I could do that. But, you know, I could have milk if I wanted to, which I don't because I don't like milk. But I could if I wanted to. That was the point. After the first week, I went to go see Dr. Tokyo for my first week post-op. He took the elastics that had been keeping my mouth shut, which, you know, obviously when your mouth is elastic shut, you can't talk, you can't move your jaw. So my forms of communication were grunting, pointing, and writing things down, like more pain meds. I actually had a bell beside me at all times. I think I still have it in my room, which I would ring to get my mom or my dad to come to me, you know, if I was upstairs and they were downstairs, or it was in the middle of the night and I needed more pain medication. I would just literally have to sit there and just ring a bell, and it was really awkward to do that because I felt like, you know, my parents were my servants, and I was just like ringing the bell like, oh, come bring me a cup of tea. It was, you know, you kind of always want your parents to be at your beck and call, but you really don't because it's just awkward, and yeah. But yeah, so after that first week, I went at my post-op appointment. Luckily, the elastics were taken off. I was really scared at first because I was like, oh my god, if I move my jaw, it's gonna, like, you know, break my jaw again. And so talking was difficult because I had to get used to doing that. You know, after a week of, like, having your mouth shut, you're not sure how to talk again. Which is weird because you're like, oh, it's just a week, but it felt really weird because I was just really scared about doing anything to my jaw. I'm saying a lot, oh my god. But yeah, so after the first week I could have smoothies, which was really great because, you know, at least I'm getting something with, you know, sustenance in it. And after 2 or 3 days of having smoothies, the, you know, excitement of, yay, I can have something besides just liquid, I'm not using a syringe anymore, wore off. and I was really just grumpy. It was very reminiscent of when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, because I got really just upset and kind of melancholy because I really wanted to eat, which is similar now. When I got my jaw surgery, I really just wanted to eat. I wanted just, like, you know, anything, just something that wasn't liquid and something that wasn't a smoothie or soup. And so eventually, you know, I did kind of stop eating. I wasn't eating. I stopped drinking smoothies as often, which annoyed my parents and, you know, annoyed myself because I'd be even more weak than I already was. Fun fact, the first day home, I wanted to, you know, just kind of get all the hospital nastiness off myself, so I took a bath first to try and get the swelling down, and then immediately after that, I took a shower, and the first sign that was a bad idea should have been that I couldn't physically stand up in the shower. I had to, like, sit on the ground. And, that was just not fun. Because I was just so weak and I was just like, no, I'm done, I can't. And so I apparently dehydrated myself from all the steam. And, you know, I wasn't taking in a lot of liquids because I was taking them in through a syringe, so you're only taking in about this much liquid at a time. You know, I'd take like 2 or 3 syringes whenever I would have a syringe. And since I wasn't at the hospital anymore, I wasn't on an IV, so I wasn't getting fluids that way anymore, so I was really easy to dehydrate. So when I got out of the shower, I kind of pretty much almost passed out and just kind of put the towel around me and laid on the ground. Did that. I laid there for probably a good 10 minutes, and eventually then I mustered up some energy and crawled to my room, whereas I laid on my bed and had to use my iPad to go to YouTube and get the bell sound because I left the bell in the bathroom. So my mom would come up and I was like, I need, like, Gatorade or something. I'm just almost passed out in the shower. So yeah, that was just how weak I was, and, you know, not eating, especially, you know, when I could have smoothies and could get, you know, some, you know, Ensure or whatever in me, really didn't help my recovery. The third week, I could eat soft foods, luckily, which was great. But, you know, I was so nauseous all the time, and I had headaches all the time, so that really diminished my appetite. And the fourth week, when I started eating more, I overexerted my one side of my jaw, so it really just hurt to move regardless. And I couldn't talk, I just couldn't eat, and that was just awful. I think I lost about 18 pounds in those first 3 weeks. I obviously gained it all back very easily once I started eating normally again. But I was skinny as hell and it was fabulous. Not that you shouldn't eat to get skinny, because no, I was weak all the time and I wanted to eat really badly. I just couldn't because my jaw was so weak, and I, you know, I didn't have the capabilities to chew on anything more, you know, hard or thick than, you know, scrambled eggs, yogurt, soft pasta, soup. After 5 weeks, recovery got a little bit better. My swelling was still pretty bad up until about, I want to say, 12 weeks. Then I noticed a huge difference in the third month. The swelling really went down, and a lot of people would tell me, "Oh, the swelling's really gone down." So yeah, swelling was, you know, one of the worst parts because I expected to go down faster than it did. It was kind of sticking around for a really long time, and I expected, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm only 19, you know, my swelling's gonna go down super fast. It didn't. I expected to go down in, like, you know, 5 weeks. It didn't. I wanted it down for my birthday. It was down a lot more than what it was originally, but it was still pretty bad. And so eventually it did go down. As you can see, it's pretty much gone now. There's still, like, some residual, like, here, sometimes under here, and it gets flared up when I get really tired. I think at the end of the day I'll notice my face is a little bit more puffy than usual. But that's just kind of, you know, everyone's face gets a little bit puffy at the end of the day, or in the morning sometimes they'll be a little bit more puffy. But that's from laying down flat, which is something my surgeon told me actually before, which is why when I first got the surgery, to help with swelling, I had to sleep on, like, I want to say a 45-degree angle. So that was terrible, and that also contributed to, you know, everything sucking because I wasn't getting enough sleep. But But brings us to today, where I got my braces off, which is kind of the beginning of the end of my recovery. I still have to get full range of motion back, the swelling completely going away, my face kind of fully settling, and since my nerves here were kind of severed by the surgery, since it was all internal and, you know, they're cutting open into my jaw, I still have to wait for that to come back right now. I have feeling, and like, I think it's more the sensation of knowing my hand is touching my chin that's causing it, because if I put like something that's not my body, like, you know, if I put like this remote there, I know it's there, but like I can't really feel it. Like I kind of can, but I can't. And my lower lip feels just kind of numb, like if you got, you know, your gums freezed at the dentist office and you're kind of just coming out of the freezing. But yeah, so everything's going to, you know, be settled hopefully within the next couple months to, you know, up to the 24th of April, 2015. And, jaw surgery recovery has been a bitch. I would not recommend it unless you truly feel like I did, where you will regret it if you don't get it. If you don't need it, you know, if it's just something really minor that can be fixed with just braces or something like that, you know, obviously I don't recommend it, or if you do really need it, obviously do it. Just today, I stopped regretting doing jaw surgery because I have my teeth back and I have this great smile and my jaw looks so much better than it did before. My mouth, you know, closes fully when I close my bite, and just, I'm so glad now, functionality-wise and cosmetically-wise, that I did it. That's pretty much it. This video is like 17 minutes long, so I'm gonna end it. The end to this jaw surgery story. Yeah.